Today, I, your humble narrator, here at the Takedown with Schecter, would like to present you with a literary episode of the Takedown with Schecter. So you know probably that a book came out, a memoir of sorts by Jared Kushner, who he paid somebody else to write. And Dwight Garner of the New York Times, and I've been very critical of the New York Times political coverage and will continue to be, but the book review, how do I put it? This may be the single best thing I've read in a long time. And we're going to go through it together, guys. This is going to be experience. We're going to make it through this, I promise. And you're going to be happier on the other side. I'm not going to read it. Well, should I read it in order? Maybe sort of in order. It's so nice. Breaking History is the name of it. And yep, they broke history. They may have broken our government, broken our democracy, broken our future, broken the world with their love for Vladimir Putin and his father-in-law and his habit of eating crispy chicken wings instead of looking at national security briefings, or not being a traitor, or not pocketing money from the Secret Service, going to his stupid bedbug-ridden resorts, or a million other things he's done. But let's start. The Secret Service isn't known for its sense of humor, but when it gave Jared Kushner a code name, it was Mechanic. I don't even understand what it is, but it gets better. To title that thoroughgoing lack of self-awareness matches the book's contents. Kushner writes as if he believes foreign dignitaries prized him in the White House because he was a fresh ideas guy, the starting point guard, the dimpled go-getter. He portrays little, here's a good paragraph, he portrays little cognizance that he was in demand because, as a landslide of other reporting has demonstrated, he was in over his head. Unable to curb his avarice, a cocky young real estate heir who happened to unwrap a lot of Big Macs besides his father-in-law. Perfect. That's what they gave the visiting athletes, Big Macs, because all class. The erratic and misinformed and similarly mercenary leader of the free world, Jared was a soft touch. I think what they're saying is, give him enough money. Like that $2 billion the Saudis just gave him recently. Wonder where that came from and why, if it's related to the Espionage Act. It gets better, guys. It gets so much better. Breaking History is earnest and soulless. Kushner looks like a mannequin and he writes like one. Again, I don't think he did the writing, but he probably supplied the material. A peculiarly, why can't I say that word? Peculiarly selective appraisal of Donald Trump's term in office. Kushner ignores the chaos, the alienation of allies, the breaking of laws and norms, the flirtations with dictators, the comprehensive loss of America's moral leadership, and so on ad infinitum. That sounds about right. We could go on that list like 20 longer than that, couldn't we? Okay, here we go. Here's your paragraph. You ready for it? The book is like a tour of a once majestic 18th century wooden house, now burned to its foundation, that focuses solely on and rejoicing in what's left amid the ashes. The 2 singed bathtubs, the gravel driveway, and the mailbox. Here you go. This is the line. Kushner's fealty to Trump remains absolute. Reading this book reminded me of watching a cat lick a dog's eye goo. Don't know if they mean that goo that was dripping down the side of Rudy Giuliani's head when he was sweating, or in any case. The tone is college admissions essay. Typical sentence. In an environment of maximum pressure, I learned to ignore the noise and the distractions. Instead, push for the results that would improve lives. Well, a lot of folks, including my friend, I'm jumping off script here for a second, or off this thing, Mary Trump, are guessing that Jared Kushner is actually the one who ratted Trump out for stealing the espionage, for stealing the secrets, nuclear secrets and others, that he thought he might gain by knocking out the big guy. God, I hope it's true. It doesn't change the fact either way that Kushner, as we know, was given a portfolio of everything. He was supposed to solve the opioid crisis in Israel, in the Middle East, even though Qatar basically was literally, they blackmailed Qatar with pulling aid if they didn't stop making Kushner pay them what he owed them for his ridiculous building he spent a gazillion dollars on at naturally 666 Fifth Avenue, and I'm not kidding you, you can look that up. Like foreign policy is a way of threatening your allies to not make you pay money. Let's get back to this. Every political cliche gets a shampooing. Even in a starkly divided country, there are always opportunities to build bridges, Kushner writes. He, of course, built none of those. Every day here is sand through an hourglass, and we have to make it count. So true, for these are the days of our lives. You can only really mock Kushner there with that kind of a days of our lives soap opera reference, because of course it was one big soap opera where they're all fighting with each other and all clawing at each other out of greed and out of lust for power. I mean, the 7 deadly sins may have just been the logo of the White House. Let's see if there's anything else in there. The IGU thing is the best one. Kushner poignantly, repeatedly beats his own drum. He recalls every drop of praise he's ever received. Poor little guy, because everybody hates him. And, his dad couldn't praise him for a while because he was in prison for ripping people off. Actually, for sending a prostitute to his brother-in-law to try to blackmail his sister. That's where, Kushner's aunt, that's where Kushner gets this wonderful personality from, and he married into the perfect family. Is there anything else? A therapist might call this cries for help. And we end with Jared Kushner being imprisoned, yada, yada, yada. Chris Christie hating him. Is there anything else worth reading to you? I don't think so. Let's see. Once in the White House, Kushner became little Jack Horner, placing a thumb on everyone else's pie. We know that. Kushner was pleased that the other adults in the room, including the White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, acknowledged him. I mean, my God, this guy needs a therapist. I can go through the rest, but it's self-serving. It praises Trump. And as they said, it's written like a child or a mannequin wrote it. It doesn't tell the truth about history, the chaos, the destruction, the deaths during COVID. Kushner was supposed to handle COVID too. And we've seen realistic studies that up to 200,000 at least individuals died that did not have to. They broke everything. So maybe it should be called breaking history. They destroyed the culture of the Republican Party to where it is now fully authoritarian, as we saw with Liz Cheney being ousted yesterday. They destroyed respect for the rule of law. I don't know what they didn't touch, or international relations. The book ends with Kushner suggesting he was unaware of the events of January 6th until late in the day. Yeah, I believe that. He wants to stay on top of things, this manager, but doesn't want to get to the bottom of anything, right? He didn't know about anything that was bad that was going on. He knew about and was responsible for all the good things. So let's just sum it up. What a queasy-making book to have in your hands. Once someone has happily worked alongside one of the most flagrant and systematic and powerful liars in this country's history, true, how can anyone be expected to believe a word they say? They can't. It makes a kind of sense that Kushner is likely to remain exiled in Florida. The whole peninsula of Florida was weighted down with regret. As Cynthia Ozick put it in The Shawl, everyone had left behind a real life. Yeah, maybe best he's hiding out there, although I have a feeling, much like Idi Amin, they'll end up in Jeddah at some point or somewhere in Saudi Arabia with his buddy KBS, hiding out from the law as it comes searching for him, because the January 6th committee and Letitia James in New York and Fulton County, Georgia, and they're all coming, and Kushner was in the know in a lot of this. So read the review if you can, even though I tell people to try to avoid the New York Times. It's hilarious. And I've tried to give you the best parts. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe. Also, folks, turn your notifications so you'll know. Share. We want to get to 10,000 by the end of this month. We're at about 6,500, 6,600. So we got some work to do, but this thing has been growing. We've gained 3,000, 4,000 subscribers the last month. I thank you all for being here and love doing this. So let's keep it going.